Earlier this week, we talked about standards. Not the ones you talk about, but the ones you actually live by. And how the standard you lower becomes the life you accept. But today, we take one step further. Because knowing your standards is not the same as enforcing them. Now let's be honest about something. Most people don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because they keep negotiating with themselves over and over again. They say things like, I'll do it later. I'll start tomorrow. Just this once. And that voice, it's so harmless. It sounds so reasonable. It sounds like flexibility. But it's not. It's the slow erosion of your standards. Most people do not have a goal problem. They have a standard problem. Everybody wants the uphill life, but they keep building downhill habits. They want more, but they keep choosing what's easier. And over time, the direction of their habits overwrites the direction of their hopes. This is where non-negotiables come in. You need to set your non-negotiables from the very beginning, because your life does not change when you get motivated. It changes when certain things are no longer optional. Not based on how you feel, not based on your own mood, not based on convenience, but based on who you have decided to be. Who is that person that you want to be today? Non-negotiables are simple, but they're not easy. Please do not get confused. I'm not saying that it's easy, but you need to set your non-negotiables. They sound like this. I train no matter what. I show up no matter what. I finish what I start. I don't lie to myself. I don't compromise. And here's the difference. When something is non-negotiable, you stop having conversations with yourself about it. The decision is already made. And if everything in your life is negotiable, then nothing in your life will change. You can't have both, because every time you negotiate with yourself, you reinforce the version of you, a habit that stays the same, because every time you negotiate with yourself, you continue to lower the standards. Think about it like this. You say you want a house on the hill, but everything required to build it has to be carried up. Every piece, every load, every step. There's no shortcuts to elevation. And most people want the view. They want the beautiful view without that hard climb. That's what non-negotiables are. They're the decision to keep carrying the weight, even when it would be easier to set it down. So here's the question. What in your life needs to become a non-negotiable? Is it your discipline? Your consistency? Your standards? Be honest. Where have you been negotiating? When you already know the answer, you don't need more information. You do not need another plan. You need to stop breaking your own word. You need to stop breaking your own promises to yourself. Because the moment you stop negotiating with yourself is the moment your life starts to change. Standards do not build your life. The standards you refuse to break do. Before we close, if you have been listening to this podcast and you know you don't need more information, you need structure, we built something for that. The Eminence Circle, a disciplined leadership room for people who are done drifting and ready to take responsibilities for their life. It is application-based and limited. If that sounds like you, go to eminencelegacylive.com/Eminence Circle and apply. Some people listen, others build. The ball's on your court. What are you going to choose today? Once again, thank you for tuning in to the Eminence Legacy podcast. Remember, together we'll rise to our eminence. Catch you in the next one.